Sage blames Tinubu for Nigerians suffering. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news updates, please click on the notification bell. Prof. Issei Sage San, the former chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Corruption under former President Muhammadu Buhari, has accused President Bola Tinubu of being responsible for Nigeria's current economic crisis. During an interview with Daily Independent regarding the nation's economic state, the human rights activist and legal expert expressed his view that President Tinubu's terrible mistakes in his policies, including the abrupt removal of fuel subsidy and the decision to float the naira, have been major factors contributing to the hardship experienced by Nigerians. Prof. Sage said, and I quote, Tinubu started on the wrong footing and acted in haste on his inauguration day. This is what triggered the hardship Nigerians are going through right now. Saying subsidy is gone was such a hasty statement when he hadn't put up any arrangement and a plan to shore up the economy. This was the greatest mistake he made so far as the president, and it robbed him of the normal enjoyment of 100 days honeymoon. His decision and how he started plunged the country into misery. I was interviewed after he won the election for advice on what to do about the subsidy, and I said I agreed that the subsidy should go, but it has to stay until we start refining petrol internally. I said we have to wait until Dangote refinery or one of those refineries start refinery, and then the subsidy will go. It will go naturally because what makes subsidy is the transport. You carry crude abroad and carry same back as the refined product with charges and all of that. Those are the things that are being subsidized. Once we started producing petrol internally, that would be the end of the subsidy. That was my advice, and I think the president started wrongly by that pronouncement. Until today, the cost of living has gone beyond the ordinary man on account of that. Tinubu gave himself a very terrible welcome into Nigerian presidency by his pronouncements and actions, as well as the hardship into which Nigerians were plunged because of his hasty pronouncement. I also agree that he should not have floated the naira because a very weak currency like ours should not have been floated like that. You must shore it up, you must support it until the country's economy is strong enough for any floating. That decision was also hasty and premature on his part. I completely lay the blame on him, on this too, although I will acknowledge that they have been struggling to get the country out of the ugly situation because the naira is gradually gaining more power lately. But to be honest, these were the terrible mistakes the president made, which I think he should have thought twice in the first place, he said. The former scholar and anti-corruption crusader also stated that the aspirations of both Atiku Abubakar, the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate, and P2B of the Labour Party had the potential to destabilize the country. He criticized them for their lack of sportsmanship following President Tinubu's victory in the last general election. Sage said, and I quote, the certificate of Tinubu might not have emanated from the school, but it contained exactly what is recorded in the original school results. This is the first point. The second point is that I am old. That is an American convention. That third parties have powers to issue certificates for universities and other institutions. So those are the 2 points. What people were saying before was that Tinubu never went to Chicago State University, CSU, and that he was lying. When this was proved and he attended the school, then the next desperation from them showed up and they jumped to the certificate. For Christ's sake, why can't Nigerians accept defeat and move on? Those who are desperate are the ones opening Nigeria to the whole world in their quest to be in power. I blame the opposition for being too bitter and not accepting defeat, so they resorted to fighting to bring the country down through all those accusations. I thought they, Atiku and Obi, would have insisted on who scored the majority of votes, but no, they were not interested in that because they knew Tinubu scored the highest votes. They now started looking for technicalities and certificates and other ridiculous things like Abuja alone determining the fate of Nigerians. I'm happy justice has been done because it would have been so unjust if Tinubu was removed by the court because he won the election. It would have been terrible for those who were bitter. I think it is good for them to start preparing for the next 4 years instead of deploying all means to want to bring down the country. I saw a lot of desperation, and that is not good for the country. Tinubu won the election, and all those anxiety and separation were not necessary. The best thing was to move on and to wait for the next election. For the next election year, he further said. Well, let me say this. Coming out to say you blame the opposition, that they should do this, that they should do that. Come on, no, now. First of all, these people, they don't do well. INEC no do well. If you want to even start this. And I love the fact he came out to say Tinubu is actually the reason for Nigerian suffering. Yeah, it is true. It is absolutely true. He is actually the cause. He is actually the cause. You don't just come outside and announce that subsidy is gone like that. You're not living in the 14th century or in the 12th century or in the 10th century. You do things after careful observation of, make I do them like this. It is going to work like this. You play out the scenarios in your head and you say, okay, this one is better. You go with the other one. That is how it, you don't just come and just take decisions that are going to be affecting millions of people. And now, Nigerians are being affected by this policy. Okay, now that Sagi has said this much, I hope that the uneducated Asiwaju supporter will associate Sagi as member of the obedient and call him names. That is what is killing Nigeria: tribalism, sectionalism, religious bigotry, and stupid followership. But the professor erred by saying that Tinubu won the election, except he meant that he won it by the court judgment. Yes, now. He did not edit. That is what he's saying, that he won the election. Anyway, now wait. No pain, no gain. Difficult decision had to be taken in the short term so an economic prosperity can be achieved in the long run. The first subsidy regime was feeding a few beneficiaries too fat at the detriment of poor Nigerians. Imagine the amount Nigeria was able to save in a few months that would have gone to the pockets of a few importers of petrol. They bring in petrol, collect subsidy and take it down to neighboring countries to sell it at higher prices. Forced subsidy was simply not sustainable. And Nigerians are not, it's not like they're angry, but the manner he went about it. Had he been has given a heads up. Had he been he have given you a heads up and then. Alright, on this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.